Okay. All right. Just really quickly, it's gonna be a short stream. Very, very quick. I have Valorant at 10 o'clock here, with my guys. So, I'm not gonna be here. I'm not gonna be here streaming for an hour or anything. Be like about 30-ish minutes, maybe even shorter than that. I have this up now just so that we can cope with this game a little bit better, because this is another one of those games where I like, you know, I would much rather an L, obviously, in these sort of situations where it feels like the Bulls vets are the ones carrying, only the vets really are the ones that showed up in this game. The younger guys didn't really do anything, and I would much rather the L in that sort of scenario. So we got the L tonight with that happening. I mean, Levine had 25, Vooch had, you know, his 18 or whatever. None of the other young guys really did anything, and we're gonna have to talk about that yet again in this stream. The other thing that I just, again, like, the way that I'm looking at this is like, hey, you know, this isn't too bad. Again, you know, the young guys didn't really do anything in this game, so it's like, you know, you don't want to win if it's just your vets out there destroying. And that's what happened tonight. Like, the Bulls vets were the only ones really doing anything, and it wasn't necessarily amazing what they were doing. And then the younger guys didn't show up at all. We're gonna have to talk about this because I'm losing patience with some guys right now. When it comes to the standings, though, this is not updated just yet. Okay, I just want to make this clear. This is not updated. Coming into tonight's game, the Philadelphia 76ers were 2 games behind the Bulls in the standings. Okay, so now the Bulls are going to go to 19 and 27. The 76ers are going to go to 17 and 27. So I don't know how exactly the numbers are going to work out here, but at least in my head, that means the 76ers are actually only 1 game behind this Bulls team in the standings. And that's been something that I've been basically hoping for this entire time. And the reason why is so that we can keep our pick. And basically right now, as is, like, the way that things currently stand, the Bulls have a 97% chance of keeping the pick anyway. Like, even with the way things are now right now. But if the 76ers take over the Bulls in the standings, one, it doesn't allow the Bulls to accidentally make the playoffs via the play-in, so that's at least good. But two, it at least then gives the Bulls a 99% chance of keeping the pick. And I understand it's like, it's just 2%, Duncan, but for me, that does matter. I don't want to take any risks. The fact that we are already even taking a risk is problematic. But yeah, this is not, like, I'm just happy overall that it's like, hey, the 76ers are close, and so we'll see if they get closer here. You know, Embiid is still out. George got injured in this game, so it's still, you know, as even though the 76ers have caught us in a sense, it doesn't mean that they're gonna pass us. Like, they still have to figure out their guys and everything. They make sure that they're healthy, but at least that's something here for the Bulls. So if you're upset about the loss, and, like, you know, I'm aware a lot of people are always pissed off at losses, but the Bulls at home have just been dreadful. I'm not shocked by this by any means, but this, you know, at least is like my way of, like, telling people to cope with it, because I think personally this is okay. Again, the younger players didn't necessarily do anything tonight. You don't really want to win if it's exactly the younger players not really doing anything. So I'm okay with this outcome at the end of the day. However, we need to talk about some things, bro. There is some stuff right now that we need to seriously talk about, because I am straight up losing patience. Like, I'm pissed right now with just the way that some of these performances have been happening with some of these guys. Like, there comes a time where it's like, we can't continue to see this sort of problematic stuff over and over and over again. And I'm just there, bro. I'm legitimately there when it comes to some of these guys that I as a person that wants to rebuild, it sucks for me to say this, but I want to see some guys benched. I am losing patience with some of these younger players, and it's frustrating because it's like, I want this rebuild to happen, but if these younger players that are currently on the roster, that if they don't step it up here soon, like, this rebuild's gonna be a long time. It's still the correct decision, but God almighty, bro, there's some of the younger players on this roster they just don't want to show up consistently, and then they show up for a game and then they're gone for 3 games. some guys just need to be benched. I'm sorry, and we need to see some sort of different rotation. I understand this team lacks certain depth in areas like at the forward position, but it's just time. It's genuinely just time to just move on from some of these guys and just be like, listen, unless you start turning it around soon, like, bro, it's over at this point. Like, you got to show me something different here, because at this point, it's inexcusable for what we're seeing right now. And it just cannot continue with the way that we're seeing. I need everyone gone. I mean, I want everyone gone, honestly. Buzelis at 12 minutes is laughable. So here's the thing about Buzelis' minutes. Buzelis got 9 minutes in the first half. And then Billy Donovan decided that he wasn't going to play that much in the second half for whatever damn reason. And I'm just scratching my head, because it's like, this guy right here, okay, if you're wondering who I'm really pissed at right now, this guy right here, I'm sorry, it's time. Like, this is unacceptable for what we're seeing from this guy. This guy had 2 turnovers tonight, and both were very bad turnovers. He had 4 rebounds, which is not enough in 27 minutes, okay? Zach LaVine got more rebounds than you. Like, Zach isn't necessarily like a great rebounder. He's done a little bit more this year, or at least more recently, but Zach isn't like a great rebounder. The dude is significantly smaller in terms of pounds, and he's also shorter than you, he will. Like, this is unacceptable, okay? I understand Zach played 37 minutes, but you played 27. You can't only get 4 rebounds, okay? Not to mention then, you went 1 for 9 from the field. You missed a bunch of open shots at the basket, and you're missing just point-blank shots. And then your one trait that I've been backing you up with is your 3-point shot, and you've been shooting 34% since you've gotten back, and it got worse tonight. And Billy Donovan, for some stupid reason, is like, yeah, you know what? We're still going to play Patrick Williams 27 minutes tonight, even though Matas Buzelis gave more production in his 12 minutes than Patrick Williams did. Like, I don't understand it. Billy Donovan talks about, like, oh, well, guys got to earn their playing time. Then what the hell is Patrick Williams doing? Patrick Williams has been very clearly not earning his playing time since he's gotten back. He has been dreadful, and that's not me saying Matas Buzelis has been better than Patrick Williams consistently. There are games where Buzelis doesn't look great, but this is one of those games where Buzelis had a very good first half in the rotation. He played 9 minutes, and all 9 I think were pretty solid. Patrick Williams can't make a damn shot, isn't playing good defense, can't rebound the ball effectively, turning it over too many times for how many times he gets the ball. I'm sorry, bro. Like, for the people that keep saying that, oh, pass the ball, like, Patrick Williams had 9 shots tonight, and the dude shot 1 for 9. Like, you're already shooting bad enough. Like, you probably shouldn't even have more than, like, 7 shots in this game, but you got 9 shots tonight. That's plenty. That's way too many shots for a dude that can't make a damn shot at the moment. I'm fine with him just not taking any more shots at that point. Just put him on the bench, bro. It's just time. It's time to make this decision if you're Billy Donovan. He's already, Patrick Williams didn't close the game, but for the way that he played tonight, 27 minutes, at least in my opinion, that's too many. I'm sick and tired of it at this point with P. Will. The amount of missed shots between the others tonight, like, just straight up, like, if you just look at the box score, right? LaVine shot 50% on 20 shots. Vooch shot 66% on 12 shots. And everybody else, if they took, like, a decent chunk of shots, they missed most of them, right? P-Will 1 for 9. Josh Giddey 4 for 13. Io 3 for 10, right? I know Jalen Smith was 3 for 4, and Buzelis was 2 for 2, but, like, that's not a significant amount of shots, right? The others, right? The others that get a significant amount of shots in this lineup straight up couldn't make shots tonight. They decided, yeah, we're not going to make shots, and it's at this point right now where you're like, bro, I don't know what to do with you. I'm just tired of watching you miss open looks. I'm tired of you not taking advantage of when you should be scoring. It's just at that time. My patience was really running thin in this most recent stretch where the Bulls have gone on this losing streak, or a lot of L's recently. And it's because I'm watching a lot of these games and I'm like, wow, like, the younger players just aren't giving me anything recently. It's not consistent production. Giddey had a nice game against the Warriors, but, like, that's it, right? Patrick Williams has not had a nice game in a very long time, and Kobe White's been out, so there's that. But it's like the younger guys that we've been talking about here where, hey, the the production level for these guys, like the reason why the Bulls had so many wins early, or at least more than what we thought, right? I mean, the reason why they had more wins than at least what I was thinking, was because the younger players, they were stepping up a little bit more than I thought they would, and they're at least giving you some sort of consistent production, right? You know, Kobe, as much as he has kind of struggled this year, I mean, early on, especially early in the year, like, he was pretty good, right? You know, Io was playing at a pretty nice pace when he got put into the starting lineup, and P. Will had some nice stretches, okay? Giddy, you know, did have a great start to the season, but he kind of figured it out a little bit more once he got put more off ball, and just, again, recently, it's been bad, right? And I'm just so upset now because you know, it's one thing to see these L's and it's like, hey, you know, good development from these guys. I'm seeing certain players take a step forward in terms of their inconsistent production. You know, it's just, you end up losing just because you're a bad team, right? But it's another thing right now where we've seen that the Bulls have gotten some wins because their younger players have played well, and then this little streak recently, it's been just bad consistently from these younger players, and I'm at that point. So look, if you're wondering, like, hey, are these guys not getting enough of an opportunity? I mean, Patrick Williams is still starting, for God's sake, and I think a lot of people have been calling for him to be benched. So I think Patrick Williams has gotten plenty of opportunity to try to get out of this little slump he's been in, and I'm just like, bro, I can't continue. It's too much now at this point with Patrick Williams, where I'm like, I can't let this continue. But Billy is going to continue to start him because of the political reasons of his contract, right? Josh Giddey, I mean, Giddey's going to be in the starting lineup for the rest of the season just because the front office needs to evaluate him, okay? So I don't necessarily think Giddey's going to be going anywhere in terms of his stuff, and he's been playing a lot of minutes recently, especially with Kobe White being out. Like, Giddey played 40 minutes against the Warriors, okay? I think that's what it was. Maybe it was 40 minutes against the Clippers. But either way, though, it's just like he's been playing a lot of minutes. So the younger guys in the starting lineup, they're getting their time. And I don't understand why for some of these guys, but they're getting their time to play. When it comes to the bench players, I've been adamant that I don't understand what Billy's doing with some of these bench players. I've been saying that I don't need to see Dalen Terry anymore. Like, I don't see anything special with him. So at this point, because his production has been very limited, I don't need to see him personally. So I'd be fine with just kind of letting him just sit on the bench from here on out. But Buzelis not playing more is just so infuriating to me, especially with Patrick Williams being so damn bad recently. Buzelis just needs to play. If P. Will is not going to give you any sort of production, then at least you know with Buzelis you're gonna get more confidence out there in terms of how he plays. Like, if there's any time to give Buzelis more minutes, it's now. Julian Phillips didn't see the floor in the first half, and that's frustrating as hell. But again, I would take away Dalen Terry's minutes. I don't need to see Taylor Horton-Tucker. He was dreadful today. I think THT had 3 turnovers in 8 minutes tonight. Like, I don't need to see him. So Billy's just been insane with some of the decisions he's made recently, and I don't know what to do about it because it's just Billy Donovan at this point. We're already on our way keeper pick, but trading with Vooch, which alone will basically solidify it. I want Vooch traded. That will help really solidify it. But yeah, I would gladly just take a Vooch trade just to get something in return for him. They're just selling it on purpose. They have to be. No, I don't think so. I don't think this team is selling it. I tell people again, like, I see a lack of talent on this squad. I think this squad, for some people, they overrate some of the players on this team. This team's just bad. Like, I want to make it clear for people, like, I think this team is just bad. I understand that we've had some wins where it's just like, how do we beat the Boston Celtics? But, you know, I mean, the 76ers just beat the Cleveland Cavaliers without Embiid last night. Like, it's the NBA, right? And because of the ups and downs of the NBA, when the younger players are playing pretty good, then you might, you know, you're kind of on par with some teams. But that's younger players being, you know, their inconsistency, right? So, again, I think this team is just bad. As much as people don't want to admit it, like, I think this team is just bad. You have 2 guys on offense that are basically carrying the squad on offense, and then the other players have not done anything, at least recently. And that's not good to see. Because the offensive rating right now, when Levine is off the floor, is dreadful. It's not really even much better when Vooch is on the floor and Levine's off the floor. Like, it's not even that great. So, bro, the offense for this team moving forward is going to be so hard to watch if Zach does get moved, which I doubt it at this point. But still though, you're seeing moments where it's like the offense is just so bad because the team lacks talent. They lack offensive talent. Vooch barely getting touches the second half. So here's the thing. I don't think Vooch didn't get, like, if you're saying that the Bulls went away from Vucevic, I think honestly the 76ers just adjusted. They just really, okay, yeah. So our zone defense that we were trying to play a lot in that first half, where Vooch was just kind of killing us in the middle of the paint, like we went away from that, right? And Vooch, they tried to adjust it so that Vooch was not going to get as many shots from there, and they're forcing the passes. And that's just smart by Philly, because if you're any other team right now trying to win games against the Bulls, you're basically saying, yeah, Patrick Williams, go shoot the shot. Like, I dare you to beat us, Patrick Williams. I dare you to beat us. Josh Giddey, I dare you to beat us right now. Like, we're going to stake on Zach. We're going to, take away Vooch's, initial looks, and we're going to dare the others to beat us, which is a very fine strat. And you can see that the others clearly didn't do their job tonight. And they got a lot of shots, right? I don't necessarily want to be like, oh, we need to make sure Vooch gets like 25 shots tonight, because I think that's kind of forcing it. But I think Vooch actually got enough touches. He got enough touches in the paint, definitely. The Bulls, the Bulls just read the defense, and it's like, make the right play. Ideally, then, you knock down the shot. It just didn't happen tonight. Buzal/Phillips over Pat, unfortunately, he's just all in his head. Maybe, bro. I think P. Will is definitely in his head, but it's just gotten to the point now where I'm like, I just need you on the bench. This can't continue at this point. Looks like Montes is the guy who just got his second contract, and P. Will is the rookie who just got drafted. I mean, I don't even think Buzelis' production was like that amazing. Like, he played good, but it like wasn't that amazing, right? But that being said, he very clearly was better than Patrick Williams tonight, and that's a low bar to pass. So, yeah, if you want to put it that way, sure. Can't wait to see what Billy Donovan says. Reports, can't wait to see what he pulls out of his ass. I think he did just say, Patrick Williams, I think he's trying to be aggressive. He just hasn't converted well. I mean, sure. Would I'd rather Patrick Williams shoot 10 shots and miss 10 and be aggressive than, only shoot 2 shots and not be aggressive? Yeah, I would. But some of the misses at this point, though, for P. Will are just inexcusable. P. Will did get fouled on one of those plays. Like, he definitely got fouled. Like, I'll give him that one. But some of the misses for him right now are just inexcusable. He's missing too many shots at the basket. He can't consistently get into the paint and convert shots right now. He's missing all of his threes. Like, it's just, if you're just not gonna make shots, bro, I just gotta sit you. Yeah. Maybe Billy doesn't help you with his rotations. I mean, here's the thing though. Like, I agree that Billy is not playing Buzelis enough, and probably not playing Jalen Smith enough. But like, at the same time, like, what is Jalen Smith supposed to do? Like, what is he supposed to do with Jalen Smith? All right, like, Jalen Smith, he's behind Vucevic, and Vucevic is playing better, had a better season than last year, right? So like, I'm not like necessarily upset by that, and I'm not going to be playing the Smith and Vooch lineup. Like, that lineup is not good. But when it comes to the others, like, with Pat, with Giddey, like, I mean, Donovan has kind of benched both those players, throughout the season. You're missing Kobe, so I do think that is part of what's kind of going on recently, and why some players are getting some more minutes than normal. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised though if it's like the rotations with Buzelis and adding in THT when it's unnecessary. It's just like, doesn't make much sense, bro. I would agree with that. Giddey's rebounds at least makes his minutes palatable. I mean, yeah, that's what Giddey at least does compared to Pat, is that he at least rebounds. Not impressed by Giddey tonight. He missed too many layups. I mean, Vooch was in the post and found Giddey with a perfect cut, and Giddey missed a point-blank layup. Like, that's the stuff that's just inexcusable at this point. Look, I understand Giddey's not going to be a great shooter inside. He just will never be able to finish layups through traffic. But when you're missing point-blank layups, bro, like, it's time. Like, I can't have you out there if you're just not going to be an offensive threat. Well, so you go back to that fast-paced extra ball movement early this season. Past few games are starting to play like last season with stagnant basketball. Well, here's the thing, though, Christopher. I actually think that they're still playing pretty fast, okay? I think the turnovers kind of show it. They had 19 turnovers tonight. I actually still think that they're playing relatively quick. Their pace isn't necessarily, like, bad. If you actually look at some of the stuff, like, the pace is okay. I do think that they've been, like, slower than maybe what we saw, like, early on in the season, where the Bulls were way ahead in pace. Like, they were like by far like the fastest team in terms of pace. The Bulls are still second in the league right now in pace at the moment. So I don't necessarily think that the Bulls were like, oh, we've slowed down considerably. Like, I still think that we're playing at a pretty decent rate. We're still shooting close to 43s a game. And I actually think that the assist numbers, if guys would just make their damn shots, the assist numbers will be in the 30s consistently, okay? Again, this is just if guys would make their shots, right? But as you can see, the assist numbers aren't getting up there right now because guys aren't making shots, right? There are a lot of open shots right now that guys are just missing. I mean, again, like, if Giddey just made the layup today that I talk about, like, that's an assist. The Bulls would have 25 assists. How many times have we been saying the Bulls need to get to 25 assists, right? And that's just, you know, a missed shot that just guys clearly aren't ready. Like, guys are missing shots, right? Patrick Williams just made a damn 3 today. It's another assist. So it's these sort of things that I'm like, I just caution where I'm like, I do think that the Bulls have maybe slowed down a little bit, but at the same time, I do think that the lack of shot making from the others right now, like, makes this offense look like more worse than it really is. If you just have better shooters out there, I think I don't think anyone's complaining right now. The pace is still there. I think guys are still running hard in transition. I mean, Zach, hell, he had an alley-oop dunk today in transition. Like, I think that we're still playing at a pretty decent rate. We're still playing much faster than the DeMar DeRozan days. Again, the turnovers, I think, are show that as well. But the lack of made shots recently is also just killing the Bulls' overall look. And they're just not getting as many overall assists with it. So, look, I do think, again, I do think that they slow down a little bit. Like, I'm not saying that it's like we're playing as what we were playing in game 1 of the season. I do think that we've slowed down a little bit. But I do think also the lack of shots made is killing the assist number. I think that, you know, no Kobe maybe is playing a little bit in part of, like, the lack of transition a little bit. But also, guys just need to be better. Like, you got to be able to sprint down the floor and make a layup, bro. If you're going to be a person that's going to be wanting to play in transition, you got to be able to handle the ball in transition and not turn it over. And we're seeing right now too many times that Patrick Williams, when he tries to play in transition, he just turns it over. So it's going to be something with these guys where I don't know what, like, you know, I've been consistent with people saying that he shouldn't be a guy bringing the ball up the floor anymore. He's going to have to change that narrative if he wants the ball more and to be able to play in transition. I'm really not someone that's like, yeah, let's have people take it up the floor right now. Like, I don't want that. Like, dead serious. I would much rather have Buzelis bring the ball up the floor right now than Patrick Williams bring the ball up the floor. And I think Buzelis' handles, while they are okay, they're pretty nice for a 6'10 dude. They are still kind of, you know, they're still kind of loose. That's just how bad Pat has been. So, yeah, bro, I look at some of these guys and I'm like, it's the lack of shots made is kind of killing the assist number, and it's on these guys to kind of figure it out. Ideally, you start continuing to push the pace. I mean, Io's back; he should help with that. But man, oh man, it's been a rough stretch recently where guys are missing some easy looks, or they're just not hitting their threes when they need to. It's been rough. I think Cece mentioned it. It looks like the half-court offense is non-existent. The half-court offense, unfortunately for the Bulls, though, if you think about it right, like, this is the reason why I've been saying that the Bulls offense has been really tragic recently with Zach off the floor. The Bulls half-court offense is basically Levine and Vooch, right? Like, no one else there, no one else on the floor necessarily is going to be able to generate offense, especially with Kobe White being out. That's the problem with this current Bulls roster, is that the half-court offense doesn't necessarily look too great because you have basically two guys pretty much doing everything. The others right now, unless they start to show that they can handle more half-court responsibility, the half-court's going to continue to look troublesome because we don't have enough playmakers or shot creators on the roster, okay? When Kobe gets back, I think the half-court's going to look a little bit better just because you have another guy that at least you can trust to handle the ball and try to create a shot. But the problem is that the others right now are not capable of creating their own shot or running an offense consistently in the half court. As much as I love Lonzo, this is the one thing I've been saying with Lonzo, is that Lonzo in the half court, he's mostly just a spot up shooter. That's not saying that's bad. He's a very damn good spot up shooter. But Lonzo isn't necessarily a guy that's going to be running the pick and roll and, you know, drawing defense, penetrating the defense, collapsing the defense, and kicking it out to guys. Like, Lonzo in the half court is mostly just a very good passer and a spot up shooter. Giddey, we talked about Giddey this year, how much that I've been saying that he needs to take advantage as much in transition because his half court game is limited. He isn't necessarily someone that you can trust in the half court. And so basically the half court offense is run through two guys. And unfortunately with those two guys, as good as Zach has been this year and as good as Vooch has been this year, teams adjust, right? Teams adjust where it's like, oh, well, it's just these two guys. So we blitz Zach, we take away Vooch's shots, and we force the others to make the shots, right? I don't necessarily think the half-court offense has been, like, again, I do think it's maybe a little bit worse than you know, earlier in the year where it looked like, you know, the ball was popping a little bit more. But I don't necessarily think it's been like, oh, it's been, you know, completely ISO ball. Like, the Bulls are still one of those teams that don't really isolate that much if you look at the numbers. So I kind of just say, like, I think it's just, honestly, the others are just not doing enough. That's not to say that I think, you know, Zach and Vooch need to, you know, are like, they're not like blameless. I do think like Zach tonight, especially in that fourth, was not exactly looking too great. But I just think that the others just need to step it up. That's what's going to create a good half-court offense. You can't just run through two guys and the other three just kind of stand around and watch because those guys are limited, right? That's what they just kind of have to do. But the others just need to step up and show that you can run in a half-court offense and show that they can be a threat and put the ball on the floor and collapse the defense and kick it back out. That's the only way it's going to get better. So, yeah, I just, as much as I want to say, like, oh, the half-court offense has been troublesome and it's been a little bit slower and the guys are not passing it as much. Like, at the same time, I look at the shot disparity as much. Like, Zach did take 20 tonight, but I mean, the shot disparity, it looks pretty good. I mean, you have four guys in double digits. You have P-Will, again, taking 9 shots. Like, that's a lot for him. Lonzo Balls took 7. Like, that's pretty damn good. So it's just on the others to show that, like, yeah, we can be in half court and be an effective offense. The Bulls, again, I've been just kind of adamant. Like, the Bulls without Zach on the floor, which I know, like, the fourth quarter wasn't great, but so far this year, when Zach is off the floor, the half court has been dreadful. Because he has basically been the engine. So I'm just looking at the others, like, as much as we want to say Josh Giddey is going to be part of this future, like, if he's going to be part of this future, bro, like, he has to be able to be effective in the half court. He just hasn't been that. The best he does in the half court is be an offensive rebounder. That's not good enough, right? Like, that is not good enough from Josh Giddey. He has to be able to shoot the 3 ball. He has to be able to create in the half court to have the ball in his hands. That's just not what he does. So, yeah, you know, as a person that does want to keep the pick, like, you know, the results are fine for me. But at the same time, the stuff that we're seeing recently from some of the younger players is frustrating as hell. It's inexcusable with some of these guys to where it's like, I don't know what to do with you moving forward. And here's the other thing that I just want to point this out because I want to make this clear for some people, okay? For a guy like Patrick Williams specifically, like, he's getting a lot of open looks at this current moment in time, right? For the people that think that, oh, all he needs is just the vets to get off the roster and it's going to unlock the rest of his game, for a guy that isn't able to dribble consistently without dribbling off his foot, I really doubt that's going to be, you know, the answer for him is that, oh, the vet's going to be off the roster, Pat's going to get the ball in his hands more, he's going to unlock the rest of his game, he'll be fine. Like, for Patrick Williams specifically, like a guy like him, if Zach is traded, or even if Vooch is just traded, okay, it doesn't get any easier. It's going to get a lot harder for him, okay? Like, Pat's getting a lot of open looks at the moment because the others have a lot of gravity, right? Levine has a lot of gravity. Vooch has a decent amount of gravity at the moment, right? So he's getting some open looks and some open attempts because of the other players' gravity, right? He's getting these opportunities because Levine has a lot of on-ball gravity and even off-ball gravity, right? So all I'm saying is that it's not like for Patrick Williams it's going to get any easier if Levine is gone, if Vooch is gone, okay? For Josh Giddey, I mean, Giddey has been you know, having the ball in his hands less overall. He's had it more in his hands with Kobe gone, but like at the same time, like if Zach is then traded, like it doesn't get any easier for him. He's gonna have to have a lot of responsibility on his shoulders in the half court. It doesn't get any easier. So I just question with some of these guys right now, because I mean the numbers without Zach are pretty appalling, but if Zach is moved and like this is the roster we're running with, like holy shit, bro, like the lack of half court offense with these guys, like if you think it's hard for them now, it's not going to get any easier for them moving forward. And I just caution that for some people. So, you know, as much as we want to see the young guys play, like they're kind of getting some easier opportunities because the vets are on the roster right now. And if you're not capable of putting up consistent production with these guys on the roster right now, then how the hell are you going to ever put up consistent production with any roster? I've said this about Patrick Williams with DeMar DeRozan consistently. I'm still saying it today, and DeMar DeRozan's gone. That's the biggest thing with these guys. So, yeah, that's my rant. That's basically my short post-game stream because I do have to go and play Valorant here at 10 o'clock. Yeah, I apologize for the short stream. I apologize for my frustration, I guess. But I'm losing patience, bro. I really am. Like, not a good game from Io tonight at all. Missed some shots you need to make. Like, these younger players, bro, I just am losing patience. And it's frustrating as hell because I want the rebuild, but man, oh man, it's been rough. At least recently, so we'll leave it there. All right. So I do apologize about the short stream. Again, I do have to play Valorant here in a second. My gaming channel for Twitch is not set up just yet, so I'm not going to go ahead. I'm not going to stream it there. So I do apologize about that. Bulls play the Denver Nuggets at home on Monday. So this will be a full stream this day. I'll be able to do a full stream this day. So be on the lookout for that. I don't have faith in the Bulls winning this one, obviously. I mean, Nuggets are the Nuggets. Jokic is being historic, so that's that. And once again, I'm going to end the post-game stream saying that I just need more from the others. Like, we know what Vooch and Levine can do. I need more from the others. Like, maybe Kobe is back in this game. Maybe they'll provide a spark, but the others right now, especially from the younger players that we're looking to provide some sort of consistency on offense or even just consistent just production, like again, rebounding, just being good defensively, right? Like we're not seeing it, right? We're not getting it right now, and it's really frustrating to watch when it's this sort of play. So that's that. All right, y'all. That's gonna end the stream today. Again, I do apologize for the short stream. Be a full stream on Monday to make up for this. So I do apologize. I have to do it to play Valorant here in a few minutes. If you're not already hit the like button on the stream, please do. It helps me out a lot. Christopher, Tyler, Viper Strike, Camille, and Britt, I do appreciate you checking out the short stream. If you're watching the VOD, again, please do hit the like button. It helps me out a lot. And then I'll see you guys on Monday. All right, y'all. Sorry about the short stream. You know, Bulls, I guess, and the 76ers are pretty much closer in the standings. It should be updated now here. Yep, here we are. So the Bulls and the 76ers have a 1 game difference. So, you know, we had doubts if those 76ers were going to catch the Bulls. They did. They did it. We'll see if they actually do pass them, though. All right. I'll see y'all on Monday. Peace out.